A very good morning, dear students. Children, you all remember your school assembly and also when you used to play in playground during your lunch break or after your school. So, we can see that at both the places there is nothing like fan or air condition to keep us cool, right? But still, there is something present around us that keep us cool, right? Now, what is that? What is present around us that keep us cool in open? Yes, it is air. The presence of air around us keep us cool. So, now in chapter 15, air around us, we will learn about air in detail. Now, what is air? Air is a mixture of different gases. Blowing air is called wind. So we know that we cannot see air as it is invisible, but we notice the presence of air in many ways. When the wind blows, we notice rustling of leaves, movement of windmill, and flying of kite. Now you can see the earth is rotating and there is something present around it. Now what is that? Yes, atmosphere. The thin blanket of air surrounding the surface of earth is called the atmosphere. Atmosphere is divided into 5 distinct layers on the basis of variation in temperature that changes due to increasing altitude. Air gets scant as we move up in the atmosphere. Now we will learn about different layers of atmosphere. As you can see here, there is a figure of different layers of atmosphere. The first layer from the surface of earth is troposphere. This is the first layer of the atmosphere which is nearest to the surface and is responsible for weather conditions. The troposphere itself is said to contain about more than 75% of the atmosphere. The second layer is stratosphere. This is the layer just above the troposphere, which contains the ozone layer. The third layer is mesosphere. This is the third and the coldest layer of our atmosphere and extends about 80 km above the surface of the earth. Meteors usually burn up entering this layer. Now the fourth layer is thermosphere. This is the fourth layer and one of the hottest layer of earth where temperature goes up to 1500 degree. This is where the space shuttles go to study earth from space. The air in this layer is very thin. Now the last layer of atmosphere is exosphere. This is the outermost layer of the atmosphere where molecules and atoms escape into space. Beginning at 480 km from the earth, this layer then extends into the space. Now students, look at this picture. You can see a mountaineer is climbing a mountain and he is carrying a cylinder on his back. Now why is it so? So mountaineers carry oxygen cylinder with them because when climbing mountains, as the altitude rises, the amount of oxygen in the air decreases because of lack of trees at high altitudes. So, because of which mountaineers can suffer from dizziness. To avoid the problems caused by deficiency of oxygen, mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders. Okay, now, who is he? A sea diver. And you can see he is also carrying a cylinder on his back. So, why is it so? Sea divers carry oxygen gas cylinders along with them because there is no free oxygen in the sea water. Since the little dissolved oxygen present in water can't be used for breathing by divers. It can be used only by aquatic animals. So, to avoid the problem caused by deficiency of oxygen, sea divers also carry oxygen cylinders. Now children, we will learn about the speed and direction of wind. What are the instruments used to measure it? First, we will see the instrument used to measure wind speed. It is an anemometer. Anemometer is used to measure the wind speed. The instruments used to measure wind direction are wind vane and weather.
Good morning students. Dear students of class 6, today in chapter number 15, Air Around Us. Children, we will perform an activity to show the presence of air. Students, for this experiment, we have taken these apparatus. You can see this is a glass bowl and I have filled water in it, and we have taken a beaker. Students, you can see that I have taken a beaker. Is it really empty or there is something inside it? Now I will turn this upside down. As you can see, it is upside down. Now tell me, is something inside it now? We don't know. There is a question, right? Now we will find what is inside this beaker with the help of an experiment. Now dear students, we will dip the open mouth of the beaker into this glass bowl filled with water. Does water enter inside the beaker? No. Now we will tilt the beaker slightly. Does water enter the beaker now? Yes. Do you see bubbles coming out of the beaker or hear any bubbly sound? Yes, you have just now seen that when we tilted the beaker, bubbles were produced by it. Dear students, now what you have observed. Children, you all have seen when we did this beaker inside this bowl filled with water. There were no bubbles, right? It was because there was something inside this beaker. Now what was it? Yes, it was air. And thus, when we tilted it slightly in the bowl, what did we see? We have seen bubbles coming out of the beaker. Yes, it was because the air inside the beaker escapes in the form of bubbles. Now students, with this experiment, we can conclude that the glass beaker was not empty. It was filled with air. Thus we can say air is present everywhere. Thank you students.